Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new, my name is LJ and you're watching NoClutch Garage. Today the video is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to be installing port injection on my car, and this is going to be the Precision Raceworks B58 Gen 1 port injection. I'm going to show you step by step how to complete this. It's really simple actually. About the hardest part that you're going to probably struggle with is going to be taking the intake manifold out, and even at that I'm gonna try to see if there's a way where we don't have to do that, because it really is a pain. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna show you what I'm working with, what my setup will be. This port injection kit will be used with the Reflex instead of the AIC2 like other people do it. Reflex is just, it's really the best controller out there, even if it's used as a standalone, but we will be integrated into the DME via Canvas at some point in the future. So I want to go ahead and show you now. Alright guys, so first we have here the port injection rail, which I have already shown you before. I have 950cc injectors, and then of course we have the fuel line tap, and then all the hardware is going to be here, and the spacers for the manifold are going to be here. And then here we have the Reflex box, and then underneath that we have the harness that we will be using for the Reflex, and this is the main harness connector, and then the port injection harness will be integrated into this. And then of course we'll have to find a place for the Reflex box. The Reflex box will be set on top of the fuse box for now, because I think that's the best placement for it. The harness was a little bit longer. I'd probably find a better spot for it, maybe inside the car, but for the Gen 1s, these harnesses are pretty short, which is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. I think the placement for it will be fine and it'll work. My only concern is that I have a max solenoid that I just recently relocated to where this box is going to be, so I'm probably going to have to relocate the max solenoid back to the original spot where I had it. We'll get there when we get there. We're not talking much about Reflex today. The only reason I even mentioned it is because I will be showing you how to attach this harness to the port injection rail and go ahead and place everything in the engine bay. Without further ado, let's go ahead and start, and yeah, this should be easy. Alright guys, so now we're staring in the engine bay. Shout out Kevin. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take this off. I'm gonna turn on my light. We have our intake manifold, we have the charge pipe, and really everything, the only things that we need to take off is gonna be this charge pipe, all the sensors on it. We're gonna be disconnecting them, the boost reference, and then we're going to be taking off the manifold, and I'll show you how to do all that. But what I do want to start with is we're going to go ahead and take off all the cowling and the strut bar, then we'll move on from there. Alright guys, for this next part, we're going to have to take the charge pipe off. Obviously we're going to have to undo the clamp. We're going to go ahead and take this vacuum line off, and then we're going to take off the screws. The screws on the charge pipe highly depend on the setup. Some aftermarket companies give you a different set of screws than the ones that are here. These are OEM, so we're going to use a T30 to take them off. So next we're going to take the throttle body off, and really, you don't really have to take the throttle body off. I'm going to make a few extra steps just for the sake of making things easy on everybody. Removing the throttle body is going to make it easier for you to take the manifold out. You really don't have to take off the throttle body, but I want to do it just to show you a few things. And also, my engine bay is a little bit more custom than most. Most of you that are putting port injection plate on will not have some of the things deleted the way I do. Most of the people out there are running hybrid turbos, so everything else will be OEM. But I want to show you, we're going to go ahead and take the throttle body, and to do that you're going to need a 10mm socket. Just take it off. So the throttle body is off. We're going to go ahead and unplug it. And now that the throttle body is off, it's time to go ahead and clean up the manifold so we can go ahead and start taking it out. So you're going to want to remove this line, unplug it, and I have a boost tap here from P3 gauges that I use to get my boost reference for my boost controller. Just going to move it to the side. Take off this harness. You're going to need a T15 for that. So now this harness is loose. We're going to go ahead and take this out. To do that, you have to reach in to pull it out. In order to pull it out, you have to push in at the bottom, and it should pop right out. So now we have this unplugged. Go ahead and unplug the mat sensor. We're going to go ahead and take this harness off. Move it out of the way. We're going to unplug our tank ventilation valve. Go ahead and move the cable out of the way, and then we're going to pull this out. I go ahead and unplug this whole valve. And now I would say we're pretty clear to start taking off the manifold. The only other thing you're going to have to do, there are 2 support bolts on each side, one back here, one back here. Now they're off. So there are going to be 7 bolts that need to be unscrewed, and they are going to be 10 mils all along the runners all the way to the back. Alright, now that everything has been taken away from it, there will also be this small coolant line that needs to be removed. So now we can move this out of the way. This next part, removing it can be pretty challenging. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Right now I'm seeing that at least on this F22, this is getting in the way of things. So I think I am going to be unplugging the ECU. I'm gonna go disconnect the battery and then we'll come back to this. Alright, so now I've disconnected the battery. I'm gonna go ahead and unplug the ECU. And you can move the whole harness away. So now this can be pretty accessible. This next part is the part that I'm most conflicted on as far as letting you know how to do it, because you could do one of 2 things. You can completely remove the manifold, which is what I would want to do most of the time, since it really is kind of difficult to work with the manifold just kind of sitting over the top. You can easily just pull this back and then prop it somehow, and then you would have enough space to work on the plate. But we're not going to be lazy today. We're going to take the manifold off. It might be a little bit more work, but it'll be worth it. You will need some coolant, some BMW OEM coolant, so that you can replace the coolant that was spilled. You're gonna need some pick tools to pull the tabs, little lock, C-clamps. Kind of like the one found here. They're gonna be very similar, but they're gonna be a little bit larger. This is probably gonna be the hardest part of anyway. Make sure when you do this, you have a container under the car that is gonna be catching all of the fluid.
Once the manifold is off and you have a clear access to the runners, make sure you use something like brake cleaner and a rag to clean the mating surface as best as you can to ensure that the port injection plate fits flush on the head. Next, you're going to grab your plate and begin plugging in the wire harness of your controller, beginning with the cylinder 1, closest to the front of the car, and working your way back to the back of the engine. Please ensure all your injector connectors are facing down. Now take the fuel line that came in the box with your port injection plate kit and lubricate the O-ring on the AN fitting on the 90-degree elbow side of the fuel line. After this is done, attach that side to the port injection plate and tighten. Use non-marring aluminum wrenches if possible to avoid damaging the fittings. Now you can begin to place the plate on the cylinder head. Ensure that the plate is sitting flush with the cylinder head before beginning to place the bolts through the plate and onto the cylinder head. Once you are sure the plate is flush, begin to tighten the bolts onto the head, beginning with the middle screw and working your way out to the ends. Use a torque wrench to torque the bolts to 12 Newton meters.
Alright guys, so now we're going to be installing these little spacers right here. They're going to go placed this way in this exact direction. The bolt from the manifold is going to go in here. So we're going to take our spacer. I'm going to go ahead and put the bolt in. Place it. Now the spacer's in place, and now we're going to focus on the fuel line. Alright, so if you're doing port injection, you either have a TU pump or you have an upgraded pump of some sort. If you have a TU pump, you're going to be using the OEM hard lines. So this part will be a little bit different than what I'm doing right now. For those, you just have like a push tab. You push in and then you remove the OEM line. This is the Dorch Engineering Stage 2 fuel pump that I'm using in addition to the port injection. So we're gonna go ahead and take this lock off. These are the upgraded lines from Dorch Engineering, and you're gonna need a 14mm open wrench to go ahead and remove this lock. So we're gonna remove the lock. There's gonna be some fuel that's gonna be spilled. Just make sure you don't drop the lock. Alright guys, so now that that line has been separated like that, we can go ahead and grab this fuel line. Make sure the fittings have been tightened properly. So we're going to take some of this lube that we used for the O-rings. And there are O-rings in here, that's the reason I want to use it. So we're going to put it around the hard line. We're going to route this line. So we're going to pull back. And it goes in. I ultimately decided to route it in through here, sneak it in. We can grab our Dorch line. We're gonna go ahead and put some more of that lube. We're gonna put it on the Precision Raceworks side of things right here. And then we're gonna grab our line. And now we have the fuel line in place. Alright guys, so we have an issue. Gen 1 manifolds come with these little like fins that stick out right here. When you're adding a fuel plate, it becomes an issue because these start hitting the fuel rail. You can just saw them off, but you can also use some of these like side cutters and just cut these little fins off, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. Because this is honestly the simplest way, not the fastest way, but it's probably the most accessible way for everybody to do it. So I would also recommend that if you're doing this, one, wear safety glasses because these plastic pieces kind of jump everywhere. Another thing is if you have some of this masking glue tape, you can lay it across the runners so you don't have any plastic pieces running into the runners, or you can just stuff them with like a rag or something. So here we have the PI plate. What I ended up doing is I'm routing the reflex cord over that way, and then we have here the fuel line, which was bent in, and it'll fit right there. That's pretty much the installation. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put everything back together. I'd say this installation is pretty easy if you're doing it, you know, just focusing on that. Unlike me, who also has to film, I think it would take you about 2 hours to install. So now I'm gonna put everything back together and show you what it looks like with everything on. Alright guys, and here is the final product. As you can see, the manifold is now raised slightly, which means you will not be able to use your engine cover. So we can see, you can't really tell that there is anything going on. The wire for the port is ran through here and it goes into here, which is where my reflex is. So now all we have to do, and don't forget this is important, once you put it back together, refill it with coolant and then do the bleeding procedure and you should be good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the bleeding procedure. Basically what I do is I remove the cap, and as you can see, like, we've already put some coolant in there, but you're gonna want to come into the car, and if you have a weak battery, you definitely want to put a charger on it. But essentially what you're gonna have to do, you're gonna have to turn the AC dials all the way up. I think the maximum is 84. You're gonna want to turn the fan all the way down to the lowest setting. You're gonna put on auto, and then you're gonna hold the gas pedal for 30 seconds, and this is all in diagnostic mode. Once that happens, you will hear the electronic water pump. It's going to start turning, and it's going to start draining all of that coolant into the system. And then you go back out here, you check, you see how it's going down. As it goes down, you can start filling with coolant. This process lasts about 8 to 12 minutes, and once you're done, you should be good to go. But guys, thank you very much for watching this video tutorial and DIY. As you saw, there are some things that you do have to make adjustments for, just in case you happen to be one of those people that has the manifold with the fin sticking out. But that's about the only thing. Everything else is pretty straightforward. And once you have your controller and everything, get your tuner will dial you in, and then you'll be good to go. Port injection is not just plug and play. You can't just plug it in and then just start using it. You actually have to tune for it. Make sure to keep that in mind as well. Anyway guys, thank you for watching this video. Appreciate all your support. If you have any questions or concerns, just leave them down in the comment section down below. Talk Talk to you later. Peace.